Okay, a fun exercise in this one. We're going to be looking at how we derive the quadratic formula. Okay, really useful thing to be able to do. I think it's useful for GCSE grade 9 students to see where it comes from. I guess you could be asked to do it, in principle, you could be asked to do it on a GCSE paper. It's not like it's beyond the scope of the syllabus, because completing the square is on the syllabus and algebraic manipulation is on the syllabus. So in principle, they could ask you to do this at GCSE, and at A-level, for sure, they could ask you to do this. So we start off with the generalized form of the quadratic formula, okay? ax squared add bx add c. And step by step by step, we're going to change this and we're going to derive the quadratic formula. So the first step is we're going to divide everything by a. So that's going to give us x squared plus b over a x plus c over a is equal to 0. So the first thing I've done is I've just divided by a. I'm now going to complete the square, and you remember that we halve this number in front of the x. So I'm going to say x plus b over 2a in brackets with that as squared there. Okay, there's no squared there. Get rid of that. Okay, so it's going to go to x plus b over 2a all squared. And then I'm going to take away the b over 2a squared. So we're just completing the square in the normal way. Oops, that is c over a. Okay, let's get that right. C over a equals 0. Okay, so all I've done there is I've just divided by a and completed the square. Okay, so now our next line is x plus b over 2a all squared minus b squared over 4a squared plus c over a is equal to 0. And what I'm going to do now is I'm now going to take this term and this term over to the right-hand side. So I've got x plus b over 2a all squared is equal to b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. So I've just taken that one over there, so it's become positive, and this one over there, so it's become negative. Okay, now the next step is I'm going to combine these two fractions to get a common denominator. And the common denominator is going to be 4a squared. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator here by 4a. So I've now got b squared over 4a squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. And as these two fractions now have a common denominator, they can be combined into one fraction. So it becomes b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. And those of you that are familiar with the quadratic formula can see that we've already got the discriminant here is starting to emerge from this rearranging. Okay, so we've now done that. I'm now going to square root both sides. So x plus b over 2a is equal to plus or minus the square root of the whole thing, b squared minus 4ac, all over 4a squared. Now, using the laws of surds, you may remember that root a over b is the same as root a over root b. And what that means is I can think of this now as plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over the square root of a squared, which is 2a. And you can see it's starting to look even more like the quadratic formula now. So all that's happened in going from here to here is I've thought about this square root as being broken it down into the two separate components there, and I've square rooted the 4a squared to give us 2a. The fact that the plus or minus has been attached to the numerator is just, it could have been attached to the denominator, but because of the format that we're aiming for, we're going to attach this plus or minus to the numerator. And then my final step is, for a couple of final steps now, I'm just going to take the b over 2a over to the other side. So I've now got x is equal to minus b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And then finally, because these two fractions both have a common denominator of 2a, I can combine those now into a single fraction. So I have that x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And we have derived the quadratic formula. Super useful, I think, to sort of like see, very interesting to see where that comes from, because, you know, it's good to have the context of these things, and where the quadratic formula has come from has been by completing the square on the general form of a quadratic, okay? And that's how we would derive the quadratic formula. I think, as I say, in principle, you could be asked to do that for grade 9 GCSE, but A-level students should know how to do that, because you could definitely be asked to do that. Perfect. I hope that you found that helpful, and I will see everybody in the next video.